Making sense of apostrophes. Mastering plurals of numbers. Hello, English language learners. Today we are delving into an interesting and sometimes confusing part of the English language: apostrophes. We'll be focusing on the topic of plurals of numbers and how apostrophes come into play there. Let's dive in. In English, we often have to talk about numbers in a plural form. This usually happens when we're referring to decades, like the 1980s, or when we're talking about multiple instances of the same number, like scoring 3 sevens in a game. But how do we correctly write these? The key rule here is, in general, numbers form their plurals without an apostrophe. When we're referring to decades, we don't use an apostrophe before the S. For example, if you're talking about the decade from 1990 to 1999, you would write the 1990s. Do not write the 1990s, because this implies possession, which we don't mean in this case. How about when the same number is repeated multiple times? Let's say you roll a 5 3 times in a dice game. You'd say you rolled 3 5s, again without an apostrophe. Remember, an apostrophe here would incorrectly imply possession. However, there is an exception to these rules, and it involves single lowercase letters. When we are trying to pluralize single lowercase letters, we use an apostrophe to prevent confusion. For example, mind your P's and Q's. This rule is in place because without the apostrophe, PS and QS could be misread. So, to wrap things up, numbers typically form their plurals without an apostrophe, whether they're decades or repeated numbers. The only exception to this is single lowercase letters, where we use an apostrophe to prevent confusion. Keep these rules in mind, and you'll master the usage of apostrophes for plurals of numbers in no time. We hope you found this video helpful. As always, keep practicing, and you'll get the hang of English in no time. See you in our next lesson.